Hi, my name's Laurent. I'm part of the team here at Kyan, and today we're going to talk about 3 different ways that we partner with clients to deliver digital products. We'll go through a model where the entire product team is outsourced to an agency. We'll talk about a collaborative model where it's made up part in-house product team, part external. And we'll talk about a model where we bring in specific pieces of expertise and subject matter experts to augment an existing team. So these models are all relevant whether you're a startup, a scale-up, or an enterprise business, and there's different pros and cons to each route. So this might be a startup that's looking to get to MVP, or it might be an existing business that is building their first digital product. This, I guess, is the model that we probably do most often, where we'll provide the entire team required to deliver the digital product. So everything from the strategy and discovery side through to solutions architecture and the full product team, which will be, engineers, product design, UX and QA, bringing an entire Kyan team together to help deliver that vision of the product. So that might be a 3 to 6 month program of work that team is working on. And then for some clients we work with, that then leads into either a transition period where they'll post-launch of the product, look to bring the product in-house and run it with an internal team. Or with some businesses, they don't want to build an engineering team themselves. Maybe it's not a core part of their business, it's more a supplementary part of the business. And building a tech team is expensive. So they may choose to go, actually, we're going to run this with an external partner, and they might choose to run one sprint every quarter that just works on how do we, optimize, update, maybe add 1 or 2 features to the product on a kind of regular cadence, but not something that requires a full-time dedicated team. So in those scenarios, an outsourced team is the best route to go. Building your own team is expensive and time consuming, so the business has to be really committed if they want to do that. Which obviously, when you're either testing a market and launching a new product, you might want to make sure that product is viable before investing in a full-time team in-house. Also, not every business wants to have a product team within the business. They don't want to hire engineers and product designers. It depends on what type of business it is and whether they think they can attract the right people to build an in-house team. So we've got some clients who just want to focus on their area of expertise, their focus as a business, and see a product team as being something that they can outsource and not have to manage in-house. And to some businesses, that model works better. It's also quicker. We can have a team up and running within weeks, maybe a month or 2 at most. Whereas if you were to hire 7 or 8 people to build your own product team, that realistically is going to take you 6 to 9 months to find the right people, get them all in-house, and then have them figure out how they're going to work together. That takes a lot longer. And then there's also obviously building all that chemistry with that team that have never worked together before. That also means their cadence of getting through the work is going to start off slow, whereas a team that's already been working together for a number of years is obviously going to ramp up much quicker. One of the clients we partner with in this model is Premier League. There's a particular project that is being worked on where the product team itself is all based here at Kyan. So we have a full-time team that covers design, engineering and UX and QA that works with a product owner on the client side over at Premier League. So they are responsible for gathering the requirements, being clear on the vision, and they work with their team here at Kyan to deliver that vision. Another way we work with clients is in collaboration with an internal team. That will be where a new product team is created that's made up of part of the team here at Kyan and part of the team on the client side. So it's a collaborative product team made up of expertise on both sides. Sometimes that might be a kind of clear divide of like engineering on one side and design and UX on the other, or sometimes it's just a complete mix. And that might be because the client team wants to go faster, and so we're kind of bringing in more resource to allow that product team to execute quicker. Or it might be that they're looking for a way of kind of bringing in some different thinking and different approaches into that pre-existing product team. So if they are reinventing a product or doing something completely different within the business that they're looking for a different perspective on, then sometimes a hybrid sometimes a collaborative team effort is a good way to go. So the day-to-day works very similar to any product team. Obviously the team come together and work as a single product team. That's really important, but it's just the different mix of expertise and people is some agency side, some internal product team side. The main benefits would be you can go faster. So, it might be for a particular period where there's a time pressure that means that team needs to deliver quicker. So you might say for 6 months, if there is a big release coming up and they want to bring that forward, then augmenting in the kind of short term with some additional resource in that team would allow them to go quicker. That's one reason to do it that way. Another reason is part of the challenge, I guess, with working with agencies is if you have the entire product built with a partner like Kyan, obviously all the expertise in your product from an engineering perspective ends up sitting outside of your business. And to some companies, that's not the ideal situation. They want to be able to manage and maintain and continue to develop the product internally without having to be solely reliant on an external partner. It's a good way of having the benefits of working with an agency team whilst also, I suppose, de-risking it from a business perspective where all of the knowledge of the product isn't held external to the business. I think the other reason to do it is it's a really good way to bring some external influence and best practice into an existing team that's maybe either just been working a certain way for a long time or because they're very much focused on one product in one business, don't have the breadth of expertise of working across lots of different teams at different scales, from startups to enterprises. And I think that's part of the value we bring in. We can bring in some best practice into an existing team that might help elevate them in terms of how they're delivering and how they're working. Reshop, they were a startup. They had a small engineering team that was working on the MVP. They were under some pressure to get to release. And so we joined their product team with a team of 4 or 5 people from Kyan that covered design, engineering, and UX. And that just allowed that product team to get to MVP much quicker than they would have been able to on their own. They were also in the process of building their own team, which takes time. It's like getting through the interview process, onboarding new people. They didn't have time to wait, for that whole process to build a team out, which might have taken 3 to 6 months, and deliver the MVP on time. So we helped bridge that gap, and as more people came on board internally, people on the Kyan team would step back. So by the time we finished the MVP, we were a smaller team than when we'd started, but over that period we were able to maintain Reshop was a good example where we allowed the team to go faster. We were also, as they were building out a team, because we have an existing process of how we deliver things, it meant they were able to onboard people quicker and kind of use the Kyan template as a starting point for their new team to have an approach, which I'm sure they've iterated on and found the right kind of process for them. But it's always hard when you're bringing together new people that have never worked before and you've got the time pressure of launching an MVP. Sometimes when we work with clients, especially if they've already got an existing product and an existing team, part of the reason they'll come to us is for a specific piece of expertise that they're missing. It could be a particular set of engineering skills for integrating a certain platform, or it could be that they have a really strong creative design team, but maybe not quite so strong on the UX side of things. So in those scenarios, when we're working with a client, we are augmenting their capability by bringing in a subject matter expert that will work alongside their team to plug that gap of expertise. And that might be a short-term thing as they're tackling a particular challenge, or it might be a long-term thing for the duration of the project where we are bringing in some of those very specific parts of expertise that the team is missing, and that sometimes you might not need full-time. So you might not need, in a particular product team, this might be like a short to medium-term need. So there's no point in going out and hiring a full-time dedicated person into that product team if the view of the business is that it's a short or medium term problem that they're looking to solve. The benefit for hiring just the expertise that you need is really allows you to have a resource that you can turn on and off as you need it, that's very specific to the requirements of the project. I think it's usually not something that's a long-term requirement for the business. It's more, we have a gap in expertise for a period of time and we need to find an effective way of delivering that. ITV is a good example of where we brought in some expertise into a pre-existing team. So the ITV team was in the process of building ITVX, which was their new streaming service. And part of the expertise that they felt they needed more support in was around the design system. So Kyan provided a team whose specific set of expertise was to help ITV deliver a complete design system across all of the different digital products that made up our ITVX. So that's some of the different ways that we work with our clients to deliver digital products. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.